O children, gather near. Come close and let me cradle your soul in the quiet wisdom of ancient truth. There is a psalm, a sacred utterance from the trembling lips of the anointed, that rises above the rest like a mountain breaks the clouds. Psalm 91. Yes, Psalm 91. The mighty heartbeat of divine protection. The whisper of God when you're shivering in the dark. The very breath of refuge wrapped in poetic armor. This psalm, beloved, is not mere words etched upon parchment. No, it is a sanctuary built of syllables. It is the unbreakable shelter of the Most High, when the storm clouds roll across the sky of your mind, and your heart feels like it's buckling beneath the weight of sorrow. Psalm 91 comes not as a gentle breeze, but as a roaring shield. Oh, child, let me take you by the hand and lead you into the sacred silence of truth. Not the kind of truth that flickers in the wind like a candle about to die, but the truth that stands like a tree with roots deeper than memory, older than pain, and stronger than time itself. Psalm 91 does not knock gently at the door of your heart. It opens it wide, inviting you to come inside, to sit down and rest your weary bones in the warm safety of the Most High. Now, there's a word in that holy song that folk often overlook. It's a quiet word, not dressed in the flash of prophecy or clothed in the thunder of miracles. But oh, it is powerful. That word is dwell. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. It does not say, who visits, nor he who glances. He who stops by when trouble starts banging on the front porch. No, it says dwell. To dwell, my dear, is to live, to settle, to make yourself at home in the arms of God. Too many of us treat the presence of the Lord like a hotel room. We check in when we're tired and check out when we feel strong again. But Psalm 91 says if you live in that sacred place, if you make your bed, sweep your soul clean, and unpack your burdens in the heart of God, then you shall not fear, then you shall not fall, then you shall not be moved. Dwelling is a discipline. It is a decision made daily, sometimes minute by minute. It's waking up in the morning and before your feet even kiss the floor, whispering, Lord, today I choose to stay with you. I choose to abide. You see, this kind of relationship with God ain't part-time. It isn't Sunday morning best with Monday morning stress. It is full-time love, full-time trust, full-time surrender. That's where the power of Psalm 91 begins. Not in the reciting of its words, but in the residing of your heart in God's secret place. That secret place, beloved, is not a location you can drive to. No, it isn't on any map. It's not in a building with glass windows or padded pews. It is in the soul that surrenders. It is in the heart that bows low. It is in the spirit that says, not my will, Lord, but yours. It is in the man who chooses faith when fear looks him dead in the eye. It is in the woman who walks through fire, holding on to a promise that cannot burn. That is the dwelling place. That is the secret room. That is where the Most High shelters his beloved. Now, when you dwell in that secret place, you get something money can't buy and titles can't give. You get the shadow of the Almighty. Oh yes, that's right. Not the shadow of a man who fails, nor the shadow of systems that lie, but the Almighty. The God who spoke galaxies into being with a breath. The God who parts seas, calms storms, and counts every hair on your head. His shadow. Darling, is not darkness. It is divine covering. It is the comfort of knowing you are not alone, that even in the valley of despair, you are hidden in his strength. You see, in this world, storms are guaranteed. That's the truth. The winds will howl, and the floods will rise. There will be days when your soul feels like a house with the roof torn off. But when you dwell in him, truly dwell, you do not get swept away. Because God's presence becomes your strong tower, your hurricane shelter, your quiet place when everything around you screams. Some people think Psalm 91 is a charm, something you hang on your wall or print on a pillow. But let me tell you, child, it is not declaration. It is declaration. It only has power when it becomes your way of life. You must believe what it says, yes, but more than that, you must live where it points. It is not magic. It is a map, a guide to living inside the will of God. And oh, what happens when you dwell? Your thoughts become steady. Your peace stretches long like the arms of a mother embracing her child. Your fear starts to shrink. Your hope begins to grow, and suddenly, the problems that once stood like giants begin to bow before the majesty of the God who holds you. There's something holy that happens in the quiet moments of abiding. When the world forgets your name and the mirror doesn't reflect the strength you thought you had, there is God, whispering in your ear, "Stay with me." And when you stay, you start to see differently. You no longer ask, "Lord, will you come with me?" Instead, you say, "Lord, I will go where you are." That is the difference between a visitor and a dweller. Psalm 91 gives no promise to the passerby. It does not extend its power to the curious. It is a covenant for the committed. It is the lullaby for the loyal. It is the war cry for the worshiper who chooses to live every day, every hour, every breath under the wing of the Almighty. When you live in that holy shadow, you walk with a quiet boldness. You begin to say, "Come what may, I will not be moved." Not because you are strong, but because you are covered. The arrows may fly, but they will not pierce. The pestilence may rise, but it will not enter. The evil may draw near, but it will not touch your soul, for your soul is hidden in God's own glory. So yes, child, this psalm is powerful not because of the poetry, but because of the posture it demands, a posture of dwelling, a life lived under the loving shadow of the Most High. It is in that secret place, where tears are wiped, battles are won in silence, and peace is planted deep, that you become untouchable by the chaos of the world. So don't just read Psalm 91. Live it. Don't just memorize it. Move into it. Unpack your faith there. Hang your fears on God's wall. And sit down in the arms of the Almighty until you no longer remember what fear feels like. That, beloved, is dwelling. That, my child, is power. Oh, beloved, when the soul trembles and the earth beneath your feet feels less like ground and more like quicksand, you need something more than sweet sayings and good intentions. You need certainty. You need a word that holds its spine straight in the storm. Psalm 91 does not whisper, it proclaims. It does not wonder, it declares. And that is where its power lies. In the blessed assurance, the sacred boldness, the unwavering truth spoken with holy confidence. Listen now, listen closely. The psalm does not say, "Perhaps he shall deliver thee." It does not offer you a maybe or a hopefully or an if the stars align kind of hope. It says, "Surely he shall deliver thee." That word, surely, is a pillar. It is a drumbeat in the dark. It is heaven's way of telling you that when God says he will do a thing, it is already done. Now, baby, we live in a world that trades in uncertainty. People promise and fail. Governments shift and fall. Even the heart of a friend can falter. But there is a strength, a surety. That belongs only to God. When the Most High speaks, he doesn't leave room for second guessing. And when Psalm 91 rolls off the tongue of the faithful, it is a reminder that we serve a God who doesn't have to guess, doesn't have to try. He knows, and he does. So when it says, "Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler," we must understand the richness of that promise. That fowler, child, is not always a man with a net. That fowler is fear, addiction, shame, confusion, lust, lies. Those traps laid carefully by the enemy to catch you while you're not looking. They are subtle snares, sometimes disguised in love, sometimes painted to look like opportunity. But what does the word say? Not maybe, but surely he will deliver you. You see, the world will always offer you escape routes that come with chains. But God offers deliverance. Clean, complete, and crowned with peace. Deliverance is not just the removal of danger. It's the restoration of dignity. It's the breaking of spiritual handcuffs and the opening of doors that man swore would remain locked forever. And Psalm 91 tells you that this kind of deliverance is not a lottery win. It is a promise. You've got to hold on to that, especially when you're sitting in the middle of trouble. When the enemy has surrounded your joy and threatened your peace, you have to stand on the surely. Not on your feelings, for they will rise and fall like the sea. Not on your circumstances, for they will twist and turn like wind in the trees. No, child, you stand on the rock of that surely, because that surely is the anchor that will not move. Let me say this with the fullness of my soul: God's word does not stutter. He does not speak in riddles when it comes to your safety. If he said it, he meant it. Surely he shall deliver thee from the noisome pestilence. What a phrase! The noisome pestilence. A disease, a threat, a creeping thing that invades without warning, without sound. It's more than a sickness of the body, it's a sickness of the soul, of the mind, of the spirit. And even that, God says, he will deliver you from. How many times have we sat in the middle of our mess, unable to explain how we got there? Maybe it was a decision made in haste, a trust given to the wrong hands, or a burden too heavy to carry alone. And yet, just as the enemy thought he had you wrapped tight, just as the news was closing around your spirit, here comes God, mighty, majestic, moving in silence and in strength, lifting you out. That's not coincidence. That's surely. And sometimes, beloved, that surely doesn't show up in the way you expect. Sometimes it comes in the stillness, in the unexpected friend, in the midnight prayer that opens a door you didn't even know was there. Sometimes the deliverance isn't about being pulled out, but being carried through. And even then, the promise remains. Surely, surely, he shall deliver you. When you walk through the valley and your tears are your only companion, you don't need pretty words. You need something strong. And Psalm 91 wraps you in that kind of strength. It reminds you that the God you serve is not indecisive. He's not pacing the halls of heaven wondering what to do with your pain. He is acting, moving, shielding, saving, surely. Oh, don't let the world make you forget that. Don't let delays of your prayer make you doubt the power of the promise. For God's timing is not man's timing, but his word is always right on time. Psalm 91 is a declaration of that divine timing. It speaks with authority because it comes from the mouth of the author. I say to you now, if your back is against the wall, lean on that surely. If your heart is heavy, fall into the arms of that surely. If the devil is whispering lies into your ears, shout back the truth of surely. Because surely means without a doubt. Surely means it cannot fail. Surely means the King of Heaven has already stepped in on your behalf. You are not a question mark in God's plan. You are an exclamation point in his glory. And Psalm 91 places that exclamation point firmly at the center of your life. Surely he shall deliver thee. Say it when you rise. Say it when you cry. Say it when you can't say anything else. Even in the shaking, even in the waiting, even in the silence. Surely. That's the promise that carries you from breakdown to breakthrough. That's the word that stands when everything else falls. And if you ever forget, if doubt tries to creep in, go back to that psalm. Lay your hand over your heart and let the words rise again. Say it until your fear gets tired. Say it until your faith grows strong. Say it until the chains break and the light pours in. Say it until your soul remembers who God is. Surely, child, surely. Now come close, baby. Let me speak gently to your spirit and remind you of something the world so often forgets. In times like these, people reach for things to shield them. They stack up savings like bricks in a wall. They hide behind fame, fashion, and fleeting praise. They lean on credentials and surround themselves with the temporary softness of compliments and applause. But when the storm comes, and oh, it always comes, none of those things will hold you. No, child. When the rain pours and the thunder shakes your bones, you don't need a paper umbrella. You need truth. And Psalm 91 reminds us just that. God's truth, not man's promises, is your real shield. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Ah, now that is a word worth dancing to. Let that settle into you for a moment. His truth. Not your title, not your bank account, not even the people who love you. His truth shall be your shield. It shall cover you, defend you, wrap around you like a second skin. And not just a shield, child, but a buckler. That means it's not only protecting your front, it's guarding your back. It's holding you steady. It's keeping your soul from trembling when the world starts shaking. Now let me say something you may not have heard in a whiling. The truth of God isn't fragile. It don't fade with time. It doesn't crack under pressure. The truth of God is eternal, it is fierce, and it is faithful. When Psalm 91 declares His truth as a shield, it's reminding you that you are not out here on your own. You are held. You are covered. You are encased in divine certainty. You see, a shield in ancient days wasn't just a flat piece of metal. It was curved, carefully crafted, often large enough to cover a man from head to toe. And oh, how our God does the same! He does not offer halfway protection. No, He covers you completely. His truth guards not only your body, but your heart, your mind, your dreams, your destiny. It surrounds you with a promise egg that He will never leave, never forsake, never forget who you are. But let's not skip past that word. Truth. You see, truth in this world is treated like a suggestion. People twist it, bend it, paint over it to match their mood. But God's truth, oh, it stands like a mountain unmoved by the wind. It does not change. It is not fashionable. It is eternal. It is the same truth that called light out of darkness, that parted the sea, that raised the dead, that calmed the storm. That same truth now stands between you and your enemies. And oh, beloved, let me tell you, sometimes your greatest enemy ain't outside. Sometimes it's that voice in your head. That voice that says you're not good enough. That you failed too many times. That your past disqualifies you from the peace of God. But that's when His truth steps in and says, you are forgiven, you are chosen, you are mine. That's the shield right there. That's what you hold up when lies come flying like arrows in the dark. You raise up God's truth and say, not today. I know who I am. I know whose I am. You don't argue with the enemy. You just remind him of what God already said. And don't miss the beauty of the buckler, child. That's a smaller shield, meant for close combat. It's intimate protection. It's for the moments when the fight is personal. When the pain isn't coming from a distance, but is standing right in front of you. That buckler is for when your thoughts turn against you, when the depression starts creeping in, when the betrayal feels like it stole the air from your lungs. That buckler keeps you standing when it feels like everything around you is falling apart. Psalm 91 is not just sweet poetry, no ma'am. It is armor. It is a love letter and a battle plan. When it says His truth is your shield and buckler, it means you are not defenseless. You don't have to hide under the bed of your burdens. You have divine equipment. But oh, you must learn how to use it. You must know His truth to hold His truth. You can't raise a shield you've never touched. You can't swing a buckler you don't believe in. That's why spending time in His Word, letting His promises sink deep into your soul, is not optional. It's survival. It's how you learn what to say when the arrows come. It's how you know where to stand when the winds howl. Because make no mistake, child, they will come. The storm will rage, the battle will rise. The enemy will try to shake you loose from your purpose. But oh, when you are anchored in God's truth, you become unshakable. You don't fight like the world fights. You fight by standing. You fight by believing. You fight by resting in what cannot be moved. And don't you know, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stand still behind that shield. Not run, not hide, just stand. Sometimes victory looks like surviving. Sometimes it looks like keeping your peace when you could have lost your mind. And when the dust settles, you'll still be standing, not because you're strong, but because His truth held you up. That truth, beloved, tells you who you erring fearfully and wonderfully made. That truth tells you what you're carrying, the image of the Creator. That truth tells you what you're promising, not ease, but eternal victory. That truth is your shield when the doctor gives you news you didn't want. It's your buckler when a loved one leaves, and your heart breaks into pieces. It's your covering when your name is dragged, and your motives misunderstood. His truth holds you when nothing else can. So don't trade that truth for comfort. Don't exchange it for the approval of people. Don't lay it down to make someone else feel better about their lies. Hold it high. Keep it close. Let it go before you and behind you, beneath you and above you. Because in a world full of noise, confusion, and illusion, the one thing that will not fail you is the everlasting truth of God. His truth is not afraid of darkness. His truth does not shrink before evil. His truth marches through fire and comes out shining brighter. His truth is your inheritance, your birthright, your shield. So raise it up, beloved. Let it shine. Let it guard you, guide you, and give you strength. For in His truth there is safety. In His truth there is power. And in His truth there is you, standing, breathing, thriving, buckled, shielded, and free. Oh, my sweet child, do you know how loved you are? Do you know how watched over, how seen, how protected you are? Not by chance, not by the roll of fate's cold dice, but by the very hand of God Himself. Yes, I mean that. The Almighty, the Creator of galaxies and the Whisperer of stars, has not forgotten your name. He has not overlooked your troubles. He has assigned angels. Oh yes, real holy, heavenly angels, to guard you in all your ways. You see, Psalm 91 is not speaking to the casual believer. It's not poetry for the lukewarm heart. No, child, this is the language of divine intimacy. This is the word of a God who draws near to His beloved. And nestled deep within this powerful psalm is a verse that will still your trembling hands and lift your weary soul. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Now let me pause right there and say it slowly so your heart hears it at. He shall give His angels charge over you. Not just a suggestion, not just a hope, but a command. That word charge means He has given orders. He has written a decree in heaven concerning you. Your name is written in the breath of His care. And He has appointed mighty warriors of light to walk with you. And baby, they don't clock out, they don't sleep. They don't abandon their post, these angels. Oh, glory. They are on assignment. They are under orders from the throne room of God. They are not here to play. They are not moved by the opinions of others, not distracted by drama, not intimidated by demons. They have charge, holy charge, to keep you, to shield you, to fight when you're too tired to lift a prayer. And don't you think for a moment that your life is too small for heaven's attention. Don't you believe the lie that says angels are preachers, prophets, or saints who never stumble. Oh no, child. The word says you, yes you. Whether you're a mother raising babies in the quiet dark of morning, or a man who's lost his job and his peace at the same time, or someone wandering through heartbreak wondering if God still hears, you are under angelic guard. You see, God's protection is not limited to certain moments. The verse says they are given to keep you in all your ways. That means when you're doing well, and when you're not. When your hands are lifted in worship, and when they're too heavy to raise. When you're walking in purpose, and when you're crawling through confusion. All your ways. That includes the messy, the uncertain, the broken. The angels don't leave when your faith trembles. They don't vanish when you cry yourself to sleep. They stay. Because their assignment isn't based on your perfection. It's based on God's love for you. Now, I don't know about you, but I find such comfort in knowing that I'm not walking alone. That when I go out into this wild, weary world, I am not some stray soul subject to chance. No, I am a daughter of the King. You, my beloved, are a son, a daughter, a chosen vessel. And heaven takes that seriously. God doesn't leave what he loves undefended. No, he surrounds it. And oh, the stories the angels could tell. The near accidents that never happened. The wrong doors you didn't walk through. The battles fought in the invisible realm while you slept peacefully in your bed. That flat tire that made you late. Maybe it saved your life. That canceled opportunity. Maybe it was a detour away from danger. Don't you see? There are things you've been delivered from that you'll never even know about, because the angels were on their post. This divine protection is not pathetic fluff. It's spiritual reality. You may not see them, but oh child, they are there. In the car with you on lonely roads, standing beside your hospital bed, holding your shoulders as you pray for your children, whispering peace when your heart is a battlefield. They move on God's word, and his word says you matter. His word says you're covered. But let me tell you something precious. You must begin to walk like someone who is guarded, not arrogant, not boastful, but bold. A holy boldness that says, I am not forsaken. A divine dignity that understands you are escorted by grace, that you walk through this life with heaven's army at your side. And when the world tries to shake you, tries to convince you that you're alone, you speak back with the truth. You say, no, I am surrounded. The angels of the Lord encamp round about me. That word encamp means they pitch a tent around you. They set up camp. They don't fly by and wave. They stay. That's a promise. And it's carved in the stone of eternity. Some people say, but I don't feel them. Oh, but child, don't you know? Their presence isn't measured by your senses. Their power isn't limited to what you can see. Faith isn't about what the eyes can verify. It's about what the soul believes. And Psalm 91 is calling your soul to rise, to believe again, to trust that even when you feel forgotten, heaven has not gone silent. You are covered, not by coincidence, not by luck, but by the charge of the King. So when fear tries to settle in your chest, remind it who walks with you. When anxiety creeps like a shadow, speak light. When darkness tries to press in, stand tall in the knowledge that there are angels, mighty radiant, unstoppable, standing over you with swords drawn and wings wide. You don't need to fight every battle with your fists, my love. Some battles are won by simply remembering who walks with you. You are not outnumbered. You are not vulnerable. You are not without backup. You've got divine reinforcement. You've got holy warriors. You've got promises written in glory. And above all, you've got a God who looked at you, called you beloved, and said, guard this one. Protect this one. Keep this one. So tonight, when you lay your head down, don't count your worries. Count your angels. Know that you're not lying alone. There is movement in the air. There are wings over your window. There is fire around your bed. There is glory in your room, because he has given his angels charge over you, and they will not fail. Amen. Oh, my dear, lean in close and listen with the ear of your soul. There comes a time in every life, yes, in every weathered, weary, wandering life, when love becomes the only key that fits the lock of heaven. And in Psalm 91, the Lord, in his grace, gives us a sacred secret wrapped in divine poetry. That when a heart sets its love upon him, when it surrenders its affection not to idols, not to fleeting fame, not to silver or the sweetness of man's approval, but to God alone, then heaven responds. It doesn't merely acknowledge, it moves. God himself steps forward and says, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. Now that's a holy cause and effect. That's the kind of transaction no bank can offer, no courtroom can rule upon. That's divine justice, divine intimacy. And oh, how beautiful it is to know that the Creator of all things, the one who hung stars like lanterns in the sky, who shaped man from dust and woman from his side, stoops down to respond to something as soft, as vulnerable as love. He doesn't ask for perfection. He doesn't require endless sacrifices or ceremonial shows. He listens for the steady heartbeat of a soul in love with him. You see, love is not merely a word to God. It's not a fleeting emotion. Love is an anchor. It's a covenant. When you truly love him, you walk through the fire and call it a refining place, not a death sentence. You pass through the valley and declare it blessed ground. You wake up in your pain and say, "Still, I will praise you." And in those moments, beloved, the heavens quake with holy delight. For God sees not just your posture, but your heart. He knows when your lips speak truth and when they merely echo tradition. But when your love is genuine, when it is steady and strong, he says, "Because of this love, I will deliver." He delivers not just from the enemies you can see, but from the ones hiding in shadows. He delivers you from fear, from despair, from the shackles of shame and the silence of sorrow. He steps into your prison cell and opens the doors wide. Not because you shouted the loudest, not because you impressed the heavens, but because you loved him. And isn't that something? That in a world that rewards ambition and honors appearance, God looks for love. He listens for it in the hush of your prayers. He seeks it in the consistency of your trust. He finds it when you are still, when you whisper his name not out of habit but out of hunger. And then he says something even more precious. "I will set him on high because he has known my name." You see, this isn't just about deliverance. It's about elevation. God takes the one who loves him, the one who chooses him in private, in the quiet, in the broken places. And he lifts that soul above the storm. Not away from it, no, but above it. The wind still howls, the sea still crashes. But you, child of the Most High, are set on high. Your peace becomes unshakable. Your joy becomes untouchable. Your identity becomes unmovable. And it is all because of love. There is something else. When you call upon him, not when it's convenient, not when you're full of praise only, but when your voice trembles and your heart is undone, he says, "I will answer." He doesn't send a messenger. He doesn't delay his reply. He answers. That's a kind of intimacy that kings and prophets longed for. That's a kind of nearness the angels marvel at. The Almighty responds to love with presence. "I will be with him in trouble," he declares, not far off, not watching from the heavens. With you. In the pit, in the pain, in the prison, in the pressing. He walks beside you, whispering strength into your soul, holding your heart in his hand. And it gets better, he says. "I will deliver him and honor him." Now, honor from man is fickle. It comes and goes like a summer breeze. But when God honors you, oh, it's a different thing entirely. He clothes you with dignity. He wraps you in his righteousness. He calls you beloved, chosen, holy, and set apart. He prepares a table for you in the presence of your enemies. He places your name in the Lamb's book of life and declares you victorious even before the battle ends. And then he promises satisfaction, not the kind that fades with time, not the kind that leaves you empty after the thrill, but a satisfaction of the soul. "With long life I will satisfy him," he says. And child, that's not just about length of days, but depth of days. It's the kind of life where you lie down at night and your heart is at rest. It's the kind of peace that surpasses understanding. It's a satisfaction that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on closeness. And he finishes with a crown. "I will show him my salvation." He offers not just rescue, but revelation. He unveils his glory, his mercy, his plan, his very self. What greater reward could there be? What greater love could one imagine than this divine exchange? Your heart for his deliverance, your affection for his answers, your loyalty for his lifting, your faithfulness for his fulfillment. So I say to you, hold fast to that love. Nurture it, water it with prayer, guard it with obedience.